So well, I'll sort of set this up a little better. I have 4 motherboards here. I have one that's currently set up. And currently they are plagued all with the same issue. 0000 FE00. Now I was able to solve one of these consoles by reflowing the NAND flash, but I think in these consoles cases they're not as... I don't think the fix will be as straightforward. Now a lot of these motherboards are in good shape, especially around the main chips. This DSi board does have some concerning rust around the shielding here. And then even though this one has a water damage indicator tripped, I think the only thing I really noticed is some like rust marks along the silk screen, but it didn't seem to lead to any sort of rampant corrosion. Nothing that I noticed. Same with the motherboard that's here. So really what I want to try and do today is explore a software-based solution to this. Now, from what I have been told is even though this is spitting out an error, which my understanding of this particular error is it is a stage 1 boot error. It is something to do with the NAND flash. And this is and I've been told by I would say fairly reputable sources that it's very unlikely for the NAND flashes to actually be dead. It is just possible that something happened to these motherboards before they got to me, be it like failed homebrew attempts. Maybe they tried changing the region because I do have 2 Japanese boards. Maybe they tried changing them to English and I don't know, maybe their console died halfway through the process. Maybe they didn't set something up correctly. Maybe it doesn't matter. Something happened to these motherboards to spit out this error, or something happened to the console to make it so this error occurs. So what I've been told is I can use a program called ntrboot to actually boot into a homebrew menu before it reaches to this stage. At least from how I understand it, it sort of intercepts the boot process, so it never hits this point. It's just right before it. And then from there, I can download a copy of my, well, not download, I can copy my NAND flash, send it to smart people over on a Discord, and they can poke through it and show me basically exactly what's wrong. That would be a cool tool to have under my belt because software-based repairs would be very valuable in this case. I do only have 4 motherboards, so it's not like it happens all that often, but I think it as a solution would be very valuable to me. I did want to try something, so this probably won't actually do anything, but I am curious. The DS Pico will auto boot into the menu, or will auto boot into Pico Launcher from boot. I don't know if it actually boots in the same sort of manner that ntrboot does. Yeah, okay. To say I really don't understand a lot of this software-based wizardry is a bit of an understatement, so this will be a lot of learning. So I haven't been... Now, with ntrboot specifically, I can only use very specific flashcards. So, DS Pico, I actually don't know. I didn't get confirmation whether or not the DS Pico works. This is still a relatively new flashcard, so it's really up to a developer to say, yeah, this works, yeah, this doesn't work, or we don't know, we haven't tried yet type of deal. This R4 clone will not work, just for reasons I don't understand, but I have been told my Ace Card 2i will work. So I will be hopefully getting this set up on my Ace Card and seeing what we got here. So I just kind of wanted to go through this process, kind of similar to the DS Pico, and though I'm not going to plaster a giant disclaimer on this one, the video guides tend to become irrelevant very quickly, so pretty much anything I'm doing should just be taken as just basic information or entertainment purposes. So ntrboot, there should be a very specific guide, 3DS Hacks Guide. Now this isn't specifically for the 3DS, so I don't exactly know if it really matters. If you set it up for the 3DS, does it count as... This is DS modding, so this one might be a little more specific. I believe both of these guides are probably the same. This is the Wiki Homebrew, and this is 3DS Hacking Guide. I can go to the DSi Hacking Guide and see if they have anything specifically on ntrboot. No, because it's getting into unlaunch. Uninstalling unlaunch, dump game cartridges, restoring NAND. Restoring NAND, maybe, because... this is something I'll have to add to my big guide that I have. Recovering images using a NAND image is kind of wild. So if this console ends up becoming in a bricked state, you can still restore the images, which is very cool. So I should actually take a moment to read this. Bring image, restoring, unlaunch. So this is if you have your NAND backup And my understanding is this hard mode, or these hard mods have gone way out of style, meaning that you don't really need to do this anymore. Oh, right here. If you're trying to unbrick a DSi, you should try ntrboot first. So the ntrboot takes me straight to the wiki. Okay. So that's where I want to go. I just want to make sure I'm going along the right paths here, because I don't know if the 3DS guide is going to be any different, if it is targeted towards 3DS platforms. ntrboot is a recovery mode. Oh, okay. Cartridge will be loaded before anything on the NAND. I actually didn't know it was like a specific recovery mode. I thought it was just like a homebrew menu that sort of intercepts it, but I think the ntrboot is just sort of the shoe-in, and then you install things like you can install homebrew menus that will then boot into it, basically. Nintendo uses this to set up blank factory units. Acquired hardware. For ntrboot on your DSi, you will need an ntrboot compatible flash card. So this is what I was talking about specifically. So there are very specific flash cards that are currently available for purchase, either ones that are pre-flashed, ones that you can use, and ones that you can't use. My R4 card is in one of these two categories. I think it's this one because it's the .cn. And I did ask about Pico, DS Pico specifically. I didn't get an answer. Definitely not something I want to try. So I need an NTR compatible flash cart, which my H card should work. Ignore pre-flash cards, a magnet to trigger NTR boot, a working DSi 3DS or DS in order to flash NTR boot to a flash card. Okay. And unhacked, I'm going to assume all of these are unhacked because I can't necessarily test if any of these motherboards are hacked. Ensure that your flash card is set up with a working kernel that can load homebrew. Okay, create a folder named ntrboot. Let me grab my Ace card here. I might want to just create a backup of all this real quick. I would like it if I could use my Ace card as just an NTR booting like flash card that I can just have in reserve as a tool, because my Ace card is otherwise very slow, and I don't think I would ever... I really never liked using it as a flash card, especially for diagnosing purposes, because it takes much longer to get into things such as the various menus. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly create just a backup of everything here. Like, I could even try and see if I can put Pico Launcher onto this Ace card, maybe see if it goes a little faster. Ace card backup. This might take a fat minute. So what I can do kind of in the meantime is, so it needs an NT, I might be able to actually do that. So it needs an Ace card, or what was it? It might not like me putting a file into my, okay, there it goes. Just ntrboot. So then I need the image and the flasher, which it looks like it's just going to auto download. That's nice. Let me just try and just co-op this here. Okay. So then I need NTR, I need the NTR image, which was at the .nts. Oh, that's the default .gcd. This goes into the NTR boot. Did I cut and paste or did I copy? Okay, I copied because I still need the menu on my, I still need the way to actually boot the Ace card, so I need the default menus. And then this one goes anywhere on your flash card. Okay, so that's the root. Okay, and then I have to wait for this because, yeah, SD card might take a second. Now, the only other thing about these motherboards is I know I just have them in my notes that they boot into that error. I actually don't know. I'm gonna have to confirm that again. Now there should be other things I need to do here. So let me, I didn't, okay, unhacked. I was right. Running ntrboot boot. Run any homebrew to the DSi SD card, or download any homebrew. For example, we use God mode, okay? Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what all this means, but I kind of see these conversations happening, and though they're a little beyond my understanding, it's kind of fun to see them being talked about and worked through and then pushed to releases. So, download any homebrew. So that means, I wonder if I needed a modded console in order to do this. Because I'll do that on my, I have a DSi here that's home unlaunched. And then we have, what's interesting is you need the trigger sleep mode, which I always found rather perplexing. So once this is done, okay, so I am understanding this a little correctly. So you're just placing any homebrew and just sort of masquerading it, or you're just changing the name. It doesn't matter what it is, it just has to be in that name. NTR boot does nothing. You're sure that the magnet and buttons are correct. NTR boot might not be working. Now, I guess you have to go through very specific steps in order to remove NTR boot. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, it's this Discord server. A lot of smart people hang out there. It's very mystifying. So this seems relatively easy. So then after this, I need to install... There is a safe NAND manager I need to do next. So I can just get that going while I just wait here. So I don't know if I need to actually go through... I might have to look up what to do here. Let me go back. So this is for running it, not flashing it. But it does look like I'll have... Okay, I think this is... I think I'm understanding this correctly. I need to grab a SD card slot reader. Or rather, SD card slot. Because this is for running it on a... I think an afflicted console. So if I go into God mode, am I able... So I'm going to have to get another SD card here. I might be able to use this 16 gigabyte one. But at least put the SD card slot into this console. I don't know, can I even boot NDS from God mode? I know I can run back or make backups. Mount the Nitro. So I think it's now how do I download the, or how do I get the safe NAND going? What was it called? Safe NAND manager. I don't know if I can boot it from God mode. I can sure try, but I'll do one step at a time here. Or maybe instead of God mode, I put safe NAND manager. That actually makes a lot more sense. Because then I won't be booting into that, I'll be booting in the safe NAND manager. If I understand this correctly, this is sort of a front. And then what the NTR boot does is sort of, it boots into the recovery mode and pulls this file off the SD card, which in this case would be whatever I masqueraded it as. So, ACE card is done. Let me safely unmount it. Now, I actually don't know if this thing is correctly formatted. I do not know why I just did that. I'm going to see if I have the SD card formatter. Right on. Okay, so I will just reformat it. Sweet, 32 kilobyte cluster. We're good to go there. Now let's get the safe NAND manager. Plop it onto my SD card under the new name of ntrboot.nds. And I believe their notation here means I need to put it on the root of the SD card. Okay, I think we're good there. Now the following instructions part. So I need to put it on a console that works. I actually am on a console that works. First, I can do this on my capture device actually. So let me CC3DSFS. Let me grab the actual capture software. How old is this release? It's a couple days old. That'll be perfect. I don't have the captured software loaded on this profile. Oh god, whatever shall I do, Windows? I don't remember my video settings here. A little bit of extracurricular activities. Okay, hop over to my overhead. So I have my ACE card hopefully set up and an SD card with Safe NAND Manager. So let me get these a little out of the way. We'll be addressing them shortly. The capture system. I'm not going to run the sound on it. I don't expect it to be anything too crazy. Now let me grab my instructions here. So ensure the flash card's set up, create folder, download. Okay, so now let's see what I got here. First, hopefully I got my capture software set up correctly. Really got to work on that scene. Something like that. Connect. Voila. It's grabbing the same video feed twice. There we go. That's a little better. Scale it up a little. Ooh. Scale up the bottom screen just a little more. Perfect. Alright, so that's going to bother me. Let's boot into my flash card. This is what I'm saying about the ACE card being just painfully slow. There it goes. And then I need to launch NTR boot flasher NDS. So it's going to be that one, obviously. That seems... Follow the instructions on screen, I mean. Okay. Warning. If you don't know what you're doing, stop. Open the browser, type, follow the steps provided here. The software writes directly to your flash card. It is possible you may break your flash card. Always keep a backup. Yes, I think I'm good on that front. And I am reading instructions to the best of my limited ability. Okay. Select flash card. It's a 2i. So it does recognize it. That's interesting. It's not part of the guide. Now, from what somebody told me is they didn't include the 2i as part of the guide because it is a very uncommon card. I don't think it's produced anymore. It's been out of circulation for a long time. I got this card as part of a batch of untested junk consoles, so it just kind of stumbled in my lap. But I'll happily take it if it helps me do this. So it is an Ace Card 2i. Okay, follow the instructions on screen, select your cartridge from the list. Back up your flash card with dump flash. About to dump flash, enter the button combination. I think this is creating a backup of the flash card. So we're dumping the NAND of a... Yeah, that's just interesting. I'm just glad I have a flash card that supported it. I really didn't want to buy another one, but... Flash cards are dime a dozen, really. So like with all things with this Ace card, this just takes a long time. I do hope this works. And I think the only thing that I'm going to be getting out of this process is sort of how to do the ntrboot. I still would like to know actually how to look at the NAND and find the sectors that are bad, and to actually try and interpret like what that is. Because currently the idea is getting a NAND dump and sending it to somebody and say, fix this for me, and I don't really gel with that philosophy. I understand that they're super smart people, they know what they're doing, but just sort of shunting that work on other people isn't exactly what I want to do here. There are the pros and cons because they know what they're looking for, and know exactly how to fix it, but I don't know. You're kind of flirting against the idea of proprietary knowledge, and either that knowledge sort of dies with you if you don't hand it off to somebody else, or maybe it's just because I haven't specifically looked for how to fix the NAND myself. I would just like to know how to do it myself. I feel like that'd be a very valuable process to try and dumb down. Because there's a way to do it, obviously. It's just, currently the method is giving it to a smart person. And hopefully they're okay with 4 NAND dumps. And if they're not, well, I hope they're willing to teach a dummy. I noticed one thing about this capture system is the shell is cracked in a couple places just because of all the wires that are underneath the bottom screen. I never liked how that was done. It works, obviously, but... Success. Press A to return the menu. Okay, I think that's good, then. Okay, so now we get to the kind of tricky part. I don't need my capture system anymore. Put that over here. So now we get to go to here and actually get to see if I can get to the safe NAND dumper. I'm guessing it's good to have the SD card. Hopefully it'll dump the NAND to the SD. Okay, I have all that inserted. So what do I need to do? Download any... Insert your SD card and ntrboot flash card into your DSi. Place a magnet until you... Okay, start and select an X. Okay, I don't need shoulder buttons. So the actual magnetic component that they're talking about that I need to put the console into sleep is this guy right here, component U20. That might be a little difficult because, well, that. And I don't know the exact polarity, like what side I need to put these buttons on. I actually might be able to... You know what? I have a perfect magnet for this. I don't need to use those little neodymium magnets. Why don't I just use the baked-in method of triggering sleep using a speaker? I'll use a long speaker from the other side. So I just do that. So it's X, start, and select. This is going to be a little awkward. That's assuming these buttons even work. Okay. 00FE00. I've never seen 2... FEF, or it's 00FE00. I've never seen that one before. I do have everything set up, I'm positive. Unless the SD card slot, or my game card slot maybe needs cleaning or something. It's start, select, and X. Turn on with the magnet in place. Okay. If NTR does nothing, well, okay, NTR is doing something. Because I am getting this error. Oh, okay, I'm stupid. I missed a step. I never injected GCD. I just made the backup. So I need to go back. Okay, that explains it. I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? But I just made a backup and just called it good, but I need to actually go back. So let me grab my flash card or my capture system again. Let's do this a second time. Oh, I need to connect this one. Okay, I was like FE00. Like, what the hell? What does that even mean? I think that's the first time I've ever seen that error. Obviously, it's sort of like an error booting into the safe recovery. All right, let's do this again and actually follow the steps. So now the next step is, this takes a second when you, okay, it's inject GCD option. All right, now will this take another terribly long time? Oh, no it won't. Holy moly, sweet. Okay, I think I'm done. So now let's try this again. It would help if I actually read the instructions. Well, I guess the backing up the dumping the flash just took a long time. All right, let's try this again. Magnets in position, SD cards in. Get my magnets in position. X, start select, power. No, still FE00. Try it again. FE00. That's very perplexing. This is how the console does enter sleep, because you put that's where that speaker sits. I'm pretty sure I did everything right. Let me look at this SD card again. Maybe I do need to, let me just try it with God mode. That was what they intended. It might not be able to boot into Safe NAND Manager. That might be my problem, because it's not I don't think Safe NAND Manager is like, well, I don't know. I actually have no idea. So let me see. It was ntrboot.nds. Yeah, I did spell it right. I can pop over here. So then let's just grab God mode, I guess. And then what I can do is just paste the normal Safe NAND Manager. And maybe it will grab that. FE00. I guess the only thing I can think of is maybe my SD card slot disconnected, which I don't think it did. No, it's still in there. Plugged in. I might have to ask a smart person. This is a little beyond my understanding. Let me just try it one more time. Start select an X. Oh, well, it would help if I actually put this thing in. Yeah, okay. I don't know what to do. This isn't in their troubleshooting section, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. NTR is doing something. So let me just cycle back. They have a sort of another additional option. Try the following flashing instructions with this NTR boot image and see if NTR loads a green screen. Okay, so I need to put this image into the God mode, and then I think I have to inject it again. Grab that. So I don't know how even usable my flash, can I even boot into my flash card? So here's this NTR boot log. Okay, doesn't really tell me anything. So I need to get rid of this. I don't know if I just rename it, but I need to know just does it. So I think I need to re-inject it. Okay, that's easy enough. I wonder exactly why it makes my flash card unusable. I wonder if it's just like, I don't know. I'm not going to question that, really. Connect, Nisei-tro. I'll get there. I might have to just pop the SD card back in and out. It might not be making a good connection. Or I hope this isn't sort of the expected behavior from me injecting that firmware. Because if I can't get back into it, how am I supposed to inject the firmware? I wonder if I have to remove NTR boot, because I don't know if my flash card's now just in this state. Just try it one more time, because I think this is why I have to like restore the. So I might have to do this on a hacked 3DS or a DSi, which I have. Try it one more time. I'll get an SD card, or get the SD card. No, okay. So I need to get a SD card ready. I'll use the one that's in my unlaunched DSi. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to boot. So that's why I need to restore it, because right now it's sort of in a mode, so to speak. Not that one, this one. So I have my SD card from my unlaunched console in. Place your flash card, flash ROM backup. So I never pulled that, but I should still be able to read the contents off of my. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can just re-inject it from the, just plop it here. I don't think I necessarily need to restore it. I just need to re-inject it, or re-inject that tester screen. Grab that, get that out of the way. I didn't realize how yellowed these screens were. goes to show how much it really doesn't bother me too much. I don't know if I can... Should be able to. Alright, here we are. ntrboot flasher, I have my ACE card in. 2i, SD card setup failed. Perfect, okay. So I wonder if I have to restore it, or if... Let me go back. So the problem is I can't run the flash instructions again because I can't launch ntrboot. Because right now this console is sort of... Or my flash card's kind of bricked, so to speak. It's stuck in that safe mode recovery, so I'm going to have to... I think I'm going to have to go through the method of recovering it and then going through the process of just reflashing it. It's a bit of a pain, but it looks like that's sort of where I'm going to be stuck at. Because right now this flash card can't be used to run that program. It's hard to say with my ACE card because of how slow it is, but that seems to be consistent. So let me grab the actual file backup off of this. Let's see what I need to do here. So I need to remove it and then I need to reflash it. So place your flash cards, flash ROM backup into ntrboot folder on your DSi's SD card. So I did just... Okay, so this is a backup, so let me just copy it and plop it into my downloads folder for now. Okay. Unplug that, plug in my DSi's main SD card. And then it just says I need to probably just copy paste. Destination file already has an NTR. Yeah, it won't matter. So now it has the backup. Maybe I can reflash it. I'll try that. Let me put my SD card in, my ACE card rearmed. Because it doesn't specifically say that I have to remove ntrboot and then reinstall it with a new flash. Flash card setup failed. I think I might have to go back to smart people because I'm getting kind of hit against brick walls on this. Maybe I have to run it from unlaunch. Maybe there's something about it running through Twilight menu that doesn't work. Okay, yeah, I'm hitting brick walls here. So I guess that's kind of all I can do right now. I'm gonna have to throw this to the smart people's courts. Okay, smart people to the rescue. So F00FE00 is not that there's something wrong with the NTR boot. There's something wrong with the motherboard. More specifically, it's not making contact with the flash card, or making good contact with the flash card, which makes perfect sense if there's anything wrong with this game card slot. Now, visually it looks fine. It could be dirty, could be slightly corroded, so really the only thing I can test, or the only thing I can try is just doing a cleaning pass on this motherboard, or on this game card slot, hoping for the best, really. Which is a possibility I didn't quite think of, because I'm not going to really be able to show this really well, just how buried the pins are in the game card slot, but to my eye, these pins look perfectly fine. It could just be they're a little dirty, though. So what I'll do is grab one of my shovelware game cards, dribble some rubbing alcohol on it, shake off the excess, and then just take it in and out of the console, kind of several times. Hopefully that will work. I can't exactly verify that this game card slot works, but this motherboard, even though it is water damaged, I think it only just had a little bit of the silk screen damaged right there. I think that's pretty much it. This motherboard's in otherwise good shape, other than, of course, spitting out a error code, but that should do it then. If that was indeed the problem, then we'll find out here pretty soon. I did take out the SD card that I prepped. So I didn't do anything to the flash card since, because I couldn't. I wouldn't know how to. But let's try and do this again. As to how I'm actually going to restore my flash card, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Alright, oh, what's going on here? Oh, one of the wires clipped. Well, that doesn't really matter. It got fatigued off. Okay, magnet over the magnetically sensitive component. Huh. I think the only thing I can really try is another motherboard. If it's not making good contact with the flash card, I don't know how much of that I can actually resolve on my own. Trying it again. Same issue. Let me try another motherboard, I guess, because if I can get it on one, then it's implied that I should be able to get it on the others. I'll make the bold assumption my SD card slot isn't fouled. These things don't really go bad unless it's obvious. The shoulder buttons notwithstanding, because those things do go bad. I just didn't want to test other motherboards because fatiguing these ribbons are... I can only plug these ribbons in so many times before they just get fatigued and practically, well, they just break. That motherboard I can't do anything with. This is a DSi board. I'll just stick with XLs for right now, just because I don't have a DSi shell out that I can... a DSi shell and a DSi battery. I don't have I don't have either one of those handy. Okay, got that in, so now bottom screen. I noticed that this plugging in the bottom screen doesn't fatigue it as much. Check the game card slot, other than just a little piece of fuzz on it. Looks fine, whatever that is. I'll clean it, might as well. Sometimes the rubbing alcohol kind of messes with the ejection mechanism. I've never actually, I don't think I ever put game cards into these game card slots either way. But I care less about the ejection mechanism than I do about the pins. Okay, I think that's good there. So let me try this again. This top screen I don't like plugging in multiple times, because I have to bend it to sort of push it in. I try to use my fingernail, but that's also sort of pushing on the ribbon. Okay, that might do okay. Alright, let's try this again, and just see if it is a game card slot issue. I'm okay with that being a problem, just the only thing is I really don't know if it actually... If I can get one confirmed case, then I'll know that it was a game card slot problem and that I can just clean it until it works, basically, because there's nothing... it doesn't look like there's anything physically wrong with it. And to be fair, I actually don't know if this one... I never confirmed if these ones actually spat out the same error. It did try the boot, so... Let me just try it without any of that. So this one just boots just fine. I don't know why. Oh, camera won't work because I don't have a camera unit installed. So this motherboard's just fine. Alright. My notes... I wonder if I grabbed the wrong motherboard. Let me double check before I go NTR booting a random frickin' console. So this motherboard's fine. I guess I'll just outfit it as no known problems. I need to get a Wi-Fi board and a power board for it. I don't know why my notes on that were so shoddy, but you know what? I'll take an easy repair if it means just powering it on to make sure it actually works. Let's try this one, which I think my notes are a little more concrete on this one. It's just like FE00, period. The notes on that last board were uncertain. So that was probably when I was just disassembling a whole pile of consoles all at once. And I must have just gotten a couple of them confused. Usually a little better than that, but you know. Let me just get it set up. I'm just going to make the bold assumption that I'm actually not ridiculous this time and made my notes a little more concise with a good amount of certainty. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, actually. Pins on the game card slot look fine. Do a cleaning pass on the game card slot. I won't go through, I just need to make sure this does actually indeed spit out that error. Yes, okay. So here's another board, confirmed FE00. Let's try NTR boot on this one now. And plop. Both flash card and the SD card are inserted. Hold down the buttons and... Nope. I can repeat this symptom on two different consoles, which really does not bode well for the theory that there's a problem with my SD card or my game card slot. The only thing I can do is I need to get a shell and a battery for this DSi. I'll try it on that one. These game card slot pins also look good. I think I see a little corrosion on it, but I can get that really cleaned off. And here's a DSi shell and a battery. I should just be able to use XL screens, as silly as that might seem. I really don't like reaching in here with a brush, because if it snags on any of these pins, it could just bend them. Like I just noticed a little bit of light surface corrosion that seems to have gotten it. Just gonna try it again. Sure, it gets really nice and scraped off. Hey, that looks good. Nice and shiny in there. I do need a power board. You know what? Nothing ventured. Never actually tried putting DSi XL parts in, aside from screens, just for morbid curiosity. The XL Wi-Fi card shouldn't matter. No, actually an XL power board won't work because it won't make good contact with the battery. The DSi problems of having my microphone muted. The DSi has the magnetic component right in between the face buttons. It's not off to the side. Makes the X button a little harder to press, but it spat out FE00 again, so that is an issue for smart people to try and help me diagnose. Something I didn't try, which the guide didn't exactly explicitly say, but I never actually wiped the contents of my ACE card. And so that some of those ACE card files, I wonder if they're conflicting. Like if the base ACE card menu was clashing up against ntrboot or something, because I really can't like say with full certainty that there's anything wrong in my process. Like as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing everything right. Like unless I'm like missing something wildly obvious, but I really don't have any reason to believe that. So I'm just gonna try it again. I didn't do anything to the SD card, this SD card, but I did wipe all the files except for the NTR related files. So I'll just see if this does anything different. Not, I'm gonna reread the guide and see if I'm just stupid and... Oh, I'm putting a DSi battery in, wondering why the hell it's not fitting. Alright, hope I didn't put it in backwards and accidentally blew the fuse. I still think the battery slot is still the same. Nope, same error. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for a smart person to get back to me. I can try and see if I can reflash it now on my homebrewed DSi, but I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know if this bricked my flash card, which would be a little unfortunate, but actually let me run that through unlaunch. Nitro flasher, 2i, setup failed. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm still in the same spot. I noticed something when sort of fiddling around on my other console, my homebrew white console, and my ACE card wasn't making connection unless I held it down in the slot. Now, if memory serves me, I think I remember having that issue with this console. I had to bend up a couple game card slot pins in order for it to read. It reads any other game just fine, and I think it even reads my other flash cards just fine, so to be honest, it's a bit weird how this one flash card has problems reading on this console and specifically. Well, I don't want to go into Twilight menu. I'll see if I have this problem with my R4. No. Oh, a little bit. Maybe. Yeah, like if I bump the game card slot, it will disconnect. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. This is not necessarily focused on this game's game card slot, but I do need to run almost like a game card slot test on this thing. Oh yeah, okay, so this game card slot needs to be addressed. That will be a problem for later. When I test consoles out for sale, I'm usually pretty specific when I'm testing the games card slot, but I don't sell consoles that are unlaunched. So I rigged up my ACE card by putting 2 pieces of paper and a little bit of tape on it just to basically force connection. So I'm going to try going forward redoing all of the steps with that, because the leading theory right now is since this ACE card was making a poor connection, when I was flashing it, it's possible it disconnected. It didn't tell me it disconnected, but that is right now the leading theory. So I'm starting everything from scratch, reformatting, reflashing. I was able to get my ACE card back to a menu. I guess I can show that. Hang on. Let me sort of worm it back into my white console. I have it auto booting in the Twilight. See, now it's showing up just fine, and when I wait for it. Oh, I think I may have froze. So that's kind of the problem I'm having now. It's not making good contact. Now, I don't really know why. I don't have this problem with retail carts on this game console, but I also don't really... Wait a second. I don't have an SD card in this thing. Huh. Okay, yeah, no, because I took it out to... Okay, yeah, I'm just getting really ahead of myself here. There. It's interesting that it shows up even without an SD card. That's actually something I wasn't aware of. I guess only my R4 card and maybe the DS Pico do that. The Ace card is surely something else. Wait for it. There it is. So now I am back to it working. So I need to re-flash it with ntrboot, and I'm just going to do that entire process. Pop out the SD card without taking the game card out, because now I know the game card's making very good connection inside that console. So I'm just going to restart this from complete scratch. Let me grab both of these cards. So I'm going to put the micro SD card in. Actually, so the micro SD card I have for my game card is good. I think I just need to replace this file, because that was the tester file. I don't think I need it. So let me go back to ntrboot, not 3DS. And it's this wiki right here. So ensure flashcard set up with a kernel. Yes. Create a folder, ntrboot in it. Download the SDR. Okay, so I want this again. So let me move it. I'm just going to copy it this time. So I don't want this. Oops, there was that file. I needed to, yes, I do want to permanently delete it. Okay, have that. Insert the microcard into your flashcard. Launch from your flashcard's kernel. Follow the instructions. I already dumped, so I can just inject. Let me safely disconnect. Go back to my overhead. Now hopefully all this console needs is a cleaning pass on the game card slot. But if memory serves, like I said, this is not the first time this console's had problems reading that flash card. So I'm going to want to be very careful. I don't want to jostle the console too much, so I'll just find a comfortable position. It should inject the GCD pretty quickly, if it was anything like last time. Oh, do I have the... Okay, here it is. 2i, inject GCD. Success. Okay, it's very clear that it can read it. Okay, so now, this flash card's ready, but it doesn't really do any good for me to be on this console. So now I need to sort of fish it into this console. And again, I really don't even know if this console can read game cards. But that will be the best I can do for that. So let's see what I need to do for the running. Let me grab the SD card. I might just reformat it. I should still have the backup of my Ace card. Yes, it is. It's right here. And the Ace card backup. So I think I'm just going to rename this as ntrboot backup. I have to be very careful with that. Oh, okay. Look at that. So it looks like I already have an ntrboot. I think I should just really play it. The end goal is Safe NAND Manager. So let's just go to this. Paste, rename it ntrboot.nts. ntrboot.nts. Insert your SD card and ntrboot flash card into your DSi. Place a magnet. Turn off. So the console has to be on. And then I have to turn it off. And then I have to turn it back on. Maybe that's the step I'm missing. That doesn't really make too much sense to me, but... Because can I even trigger sleep when it's erroring out like that? I think I'm just going to have to try it. So turn the console on. That's kind of what I thought. So I can't even trigger sleep when it's like this. So ignoring it and just assuming that... Now let's do the... The only thing I can think of is maybe it's still having connection issues inside the game card slot. But, I'm going to pretty extreme lengths. And it is seeing it, it's just not really working. I wonder if there's something I can just jam in there to really force it down. I find it a bit unlikely it's not making good contact. I really don't want to harm this game card slot. But if it doesn't make contact after this, I really don't know what will make it get contact, Thankfully the power board's modular, so I can hold it down like this, even though the motherboard's kind of weirdly propped up. Okay, magnet over the magnetically sensitive piece. No, this is very, very odd. I have the SD card in. There shouldn't be anything wrong with the reader, but I find it very unlikely that this isn't being read. So I suppose the only thing I can try is another console. Or I can try my other motherboard sitting right here. I did try bolstering up my top screen ribbon cable with some tape to try and get some longevity out of it. I need to make sure I get the orientation of this SD card right. Plugging in the SD card backwards would be annoying. I guess I'll find out pretty quickly if that's not plugged in all the way. Alright, so let's try it on this console. Start select an X. I just feel like I'm missing something, but it can't possibly be that I can't read. I think I might have to run these instructions by a smart person because it's implying that I need to have it in sleep, then turn off my console, which I can't do on this error code. So I'll get back to this. After numerous off-screen testing, I think the only conclusion I can reach is this ACE card is not compatible for ntrboot for whatever reason. Even though it's listed within the software as working, something about it just isn't working. And the way to really prove that would be to try to run the NTR boot, that safe mode recovery, on a otherwise functional console. And I tried that on my white console, and all it was doing was just booting into unlaunch. I tried it on a separate console, my personal yellow console, same thing, just boots into unlaunch. And I even tried it on a vanilla unmodded DSi, just booted normally. So this is really the very rather unsatisfying conclusion, but really the only thing I can do is get a flash card that is compatible and go from there as far as those motherboards are concerned. Because I even went as far as slicing this ACE card apart, getting to the bare PCB, slotting it into the game card slot, and testing contacts with all of these points, and they were all making contact, so contact with the ACE card wasn't the problem, even after I bolstered it up with paper. And it would seem everything points to the ACE card being at fault for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe this is an extremely good counterfeit, maybe whatever software or whatever firmware is flashed on it isn't compatible. That's well outside my realm of understanding, but unfortunately that's kind of the unsatisfying conclusion that I've reached with this. So it's just going to have to be put on ice. They do have several links to the various flashcards I can buy, but most of them are from AliExpress, which, if my purchasing experience from AliExpress is correct, that can be anywhere from several weeks to a month from now if I were to purchase it today, which I don't know if I'm ready to make an AliExpress purchase. I do need to get more game card or charge port, and I think I could probably spring for more like screen protectors and stuff. So there's stuff I can buy, but this is just going to have to be a project that can wait. But for now, I'm just going to have to put these 3 motherboards on ice and it'd be nice to get them fixed, but right now I can't do anything with them.